Yo, welcome to another Craftopia guide. In this guide, we're going to be talking about upgrading your weapons using a refinery. But before we get started, if this guide does help you, please do drop a like and subscribe. We're on that road to 1,000 and you guys are crushing it as always. But let's do this. Now, when you first start out, refining weapons isn't the most important thing, but it also may seem quite confusing. So this is just a guide to help you get the basics of it down, and then the rest of it starts to make sense. So first of all, what is refining? Refining is essentially upgrading your weapons using the same weapon. And by that, I mean you have your main weapon. It's got good enchantments on it, good stat boosts, etc. But you then find the same weapon, but it's not as good. You can actually use that not as good weapon to put a bit of a bonus on your main weapon, providing it is actually the same weapon. I'll give you an example now. In my inventory, I have quite a few of these same weapons. The Green Dragon Crescent Blade. It doesn't have to be this weapon, of course, it could be anything. It could be the bows, could be swords, could be the hammer, whatever. But as you can see, I've got a fair few of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, pick which one gives me the best stat bonuses, which one has the best enchantments, etc. So I decided that this one here, the Ancient Terrifying Green Dragon Crescent Blade, is the best one I have in my inventory. Now I could go ahead and sell these ones. As you can see, they sell for 100,000 each, but money's not a difficult thing to make in this game. So the better thing to do, as I want to continue to use this weapon, would actually be to use those not as good versions to upgrade my much better version. And we do that using a refinery. Now this may come off as a little bit confusing, but I'm going to take it nice and slow. And remember, you can ask any questions down in the comments below if something didn't quite make sense. But let's start off by making a refinery. So we're going to head into our workbench and we're going to scroll down to the maintenance section. In here, we have a refinery. Now, to create a refinery, you need 50 iron ingots, 3 steel chests, 50 stone, and 50 charcoal. And remember, if you're not sure on how to get any of those items, you can just click down on the details section down the bottom. Say if you didn't know how to make charcoal, click the magnifying glass, and there you go. You just need to add wood to a stone furnace. So go ahead and make your refinery. Okay, so we've created our refinery. So we're going to head into our inventory and we are going to equip the refinery and place it down. Now, if you're going to place it by an edge, I recommend having the boxes towards you. It would just make it a lot easier to get to, as you need to use each of these boxes to store the right item. So let's start off with the refinery stones. Now this may seem a little bit confusing, but it does make sense and it's easier than it might initially seem. Now, as you can see, we have a fair few different refinery stones here. We have the refining stones, the low grade refining stones, the mid grade refining stones, the high grade refining stones, and the highest grade refining stones. But we'll take one at a time. The lowest tier refining stone is just the refining stone fragment. These can be made inside a furnace. Just down the bottom here, as you can see, they take 1 stone, 1 iron ore, and 1 silver ore. So nice and easy to make. Now, one tip I would give, I wouldn't worry about refining a weapon until you have like an 8-star weapon or above. If you're not sure what level your weapon is, head into your inventory, just click on the weapon and you will see it on the picture down in this bottom corner. So this Green Dragon Crescent Blade is a level 8, so we can refine that. You can refine lower if you want, but to be honest, if you're going to do that, it's probably easier just to use the normal swords that you create in the blacksmith, because you could just mass produce them and max it out. However, you're probably then going to swap that weapon out for a better one anyway, so there's probably not a lot of point. So we have our 8-star weapon and we have some refining stones. But what do the refining stones actually mean? Now, a standard refining stone fragment, it tells you absolutely everything in your inventory. So it tells you that the refining stone required for weapon refining, you can use this to strengthen weapons of 9 stars or lower. So we're fine, we've got an 8, up to a refining level of 20. That just means plus 20. So what that then means is you could use this until your weapon is a plus 20. So if we come back over to our refinery, we're going to head into the center chest. And we're going to put all of our refining stone fragments in there, the lowest tier one. And we can leave them in there. What you can actually do is you can actually stack all of the refining stones in there if you like, so they don't take up your bank space or whatever. And as soon as you put a weapon in, it will just use the correct refining stone, but we'll get to that in just a moment. So we have our refining stones in the middle. Now what we're going to be looking at is the 2 chests on the side, the gold and the green one. The gold one is the weapon we want to keep, the weapon we want to level up. So we're going to choose the best version of the weapon that we have, and we're going to place that one inside. Now, if you're a little bit confused on which one does which, just always remember it this way. It doesn't say gone at the top. If you look at this side, it mentions that the weapons inside their enchantments will be gone. So remember that. And also, there's only one inventory slot because that's the one weapon you want to upgrade. Whereas in the other side, we can put 4 of the same weapon in. I know that may seem a little bit much, but you'll get there. You'll get used to it. So what we have is we have the weapon we want to keep, the refining stones in the middle. So we come over to this side and we're going to put in up to 4 of this weapon. So we can just go ahead and place them in. I'm actually only going to do 1 for the moment just because we're going to keep demonstrating. But as you can see now, above the gold chest, we have a little bar going round with a picture of our main weapon in. That's because that first weapon we put in is now going over to our main weapon. Now, the enchantments will be gone, but your attack damage, your magic attack, that kind of thing, will be raised. So now that that's finished, we can head into our chest for refining the weapon. And as you can see, in there is an ancient, terrifying green dragon crescent blade +1. So we could take that out and we now have a +1 weapon. So there you go, you've refined your first weapon. And of course, we could do that with these 4 as well to make it up to a +5. And you can go all the way up to 99 and then kind of prestige the weapon to become a Kai weapon. Now, each weapon you refine over isn't going to make your main weapon crazy strong, but it certainly adds up, and you can go all the way up to a +99. Some of them can even go above, but that does depend on each weapon. So we do that all the way up to a +20. So now if we head back into our inventory, we can see that the low grade refining stones, they allow you to strengthen a weapon of 9 stars or lower. It's fine, we've got the 8, all the way up to a level 40. So to get this refining stone, we're going to head back over to our furnace. So if we head into our furnace, we can see that down here we have the low grade refining stone, and they require 10 of the lowest grade of the refining stones. So we could just make a bunch of these using natural resources and then turn them into the higher grade. So we'd go back into our refinery, we would put in our low grade refining stones and repeat that process. However, these last 3 are a little bit different. So these ones here, these are mid grade refining stones. They allow you to refine a weapon of 9 or below, but up to a level 70. Next, we have the high grade refining stones. Now, these actually allow you to take a weapon below level 9 all the way up to a 99. However, you can also use these on a level 10 or above up to a level 70. And finally, we have the highest grade refining stone. These actually allow you to take a maxed weapon above into the Kai status. But we're unable to actually craft the mid or the high grades or the highest grades. We actually have to collect them up from bosses. So you're actually able to farm these ones from bosses, all 3 of these, and these will probably be the ones that you'll use the most. Now, if you're unsure what level your weapon goes up to, you can actually head back into the chest for the refining weapons, place the weapon you wish to go in there, and it will tell you right here that that can go to a Kai +99, which is incredibly powerful. So if we go ahead and we place in our weapon we want to upgrade, come over to the other side, we're placing our refining stones. And then this side, we're putting just 2 for now. That will then put them over. Now, if you come across a better version of this weapon, we're actually able to swap that over to the better weapon. All we would do is we would place the better weapon. So we would do it here. So here we have a +2. This one isn't actually better, but for demonstration purposes, it is, okay? This is a +2, this is nothing, okay? This is one we've just found on the floor, but it's better than our other weapon. So, we would come over to this side, and we would place in our better weapon. Come over to this side, and we would place in our better weapon, but of low refinement. So essentially the weapon without the pluses, but with the better enchantments, that kind of thing. So we place that in there. Remember, the weapon we put in there didn't have any pluses on it. So now when we head inside, that weapon is now a +3 because the +2 from the weapon we put in the other side has gone over to the weapon we now want to continue as our main. Meaning if you find a better weapon, you don't have to be like, oh no, I've wasted all of that. So as long as it's a green dragon crescent blade, we can just swap the refinement over. Now, if we look at a green dragon crescent blade without any refinery, we can see that it has 430 attack damage and 430 magic attack damage. But if we head to our +3, we have 439 attack and 439 magic attack. So you imagine if you keep going, you go all the way up to plus 99 and so on, your weapon is going to be a lot more powerful than a base version that you'd find from a chest or whatever it may be. Now, I do understand that Refinery is pretty confusing when you first start out, but go and practice it yourself and it really does start to make sense. But my comment section is always open on any video if you have any questions to answer. Plus, we live stream every day if you have any questions at all. And there you go. You can now go and make your weapons way more powerful, hit those higher damage rates, and make use of the spare versions that you're finding of your favorite weapons. Now, I really hope this guide helped you. If it did, please do drop a like and subscribe. Before we go, I just want to say thank you to anybody who came by last night's stream. That blew my mind. It honestly meant the absolute world to me. We sat at a good amount of viewers, chat was popping off, the subs were coming in, we hit 800 subs. I just can't thank you guys enough for the support. I love the community we're building here. You guys make me desperate to hop on every day and make more content for you guys, and I'm enjoying every minute of it. So thank you to each and every one of you. I feel like at the moment I'm saying thank you in every video, but I just can't express how thankful I truly am to each and every one of you. Whether you're a viewer, a subscriber, just a chatter, maybe you just lurk in the streams, or maybe you only watch the videos. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It all means the same, and it all means the world to me. But may you have luck in finding some spare weapons, upgrade your stuff, but most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!